Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?
The World Wrestling Federation, for over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
Oh, it's live, pal.
We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never, ever end.
Everybody three, count 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Or maybe The Rock has got to beat Triple H himself, which means he's got to beat the game in the middle of the ring. And he has a $2 for a wife.
You're too damn selfish, and that's why you're sitting there with a bad leg, and that's why I kicked your leg out of your leg.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
3 ain't enough now. I need 5. Welcome in Jim, Ryan, Matt, Tim, and intern Mark.
Oh my goodness, what do we do? There's a 1. There's a 2. Oh!
Wow. Well, you can take that brass ring and shove it up your ass.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 3 Count Thursday. We are live here on Facebook. It is Thursday, December the 10th, 2020. We are still the podcast of the millennium. We have tons to talk about this week, including Cody got stung, what should you watch, and Kenny did the thing. But first, go to 3countthursday.com. There you can find all of our social media links, our merchandise over at whatamaneuver.net.
What a maneuver.
Thank you, Tim. We also have our Patreon page, patreon.com/3countthursday, our home network, NGSC Sports at ngscsports.com. We also have our Collar and Elbow brand deal, store.collarandelbowbrand.com. Use promo code 3count to get 10% off each and every order. And we stream daily at leebsports.com. Ryan, that would be?
It's LEEIB sports.com.
That's the one. So welcome in, everybody. How we doing? How we doing this week? I moved the sounder about a little bit. So Tim,
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here, enjoying a nice freshly lit candle and having my attention split between this here podcast and all of the Disney announcements for the next couple of years. So I'm excited.
What is the Disney the Disney scent? What is this candle scent?
Gingham
of the night.
Gingham.
Excuse me?
Gingham.
Gingham style.
I have no idea what that is.
It's just it's from Bath and Body Works.
Try to describe it to me, Tim.
It's the best.
All right, it is the best.
I mean, I know it's not a great answer for describing.
No, it's not. Ryan,
How you doing?
No, Tim, that cannot be correct. New Orleans bow ties and bourbon from Bath and Body Works is the best.
what a bow ties?
It smells just like bourbon and bow ties.
What a stupid scent.
Yeah, that's a bit ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous, Matt.
How you doing?
Doing well. It's good to be back after a week off. Glad to be rejoining the crew here. It was last week, right, that I wasn't here?
Sure, I'll believe that.
Yeah.
They all run together. Happy holidays, everyone.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, kiss my ass, kiss his ass. Intern Mark.
How you doing?
Thanks, you. I'm glad you asked. I'm as happy as a lark. I'm doing great. I got one of the scented candles too. I forget what flavor it is, but boy, I had that lit the other night and I could smell it outside my house when I walked up to come in. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
That powerful.
Welcome in Tyler, Devin, Scotty, Charlie. Welcome into the show. Laura as well. Scotty says we're still better than Bruce Pritchard. Yeah, Scotty, I got that 20 years ago. Coming up here in the weekly segment. He says, what the hell was Miro wearing last night? Were those pajamas? Probably, and they probably cost a lot of money. Charlie, don't worry. We'll get to Tim and his excitement about the impending NXT match.
Nope, that's not what I'm excited about. Take it back.
Well, I mean, you looked
excited. Nope, never.
About the Archer guy and the
nope.
No? And
nope.
The TikTok guy, you're not happy. He's back. The TikToky guy.
You mean Dropkick Murphy versus Sandclock? I don't care. The only one I care, the match I care less about is Sandclock versus Sandpaper. Oh, Archer to infamy. The old big sex god, whatever he wants to call himself. Big leather dad, I don't care. Can't even beat up fake screen. He got beat up by a pedophile on TV. Did y'all see that? Yeah, not Karrion Kross. The other guy.
Yeah, the other one. The one that
the other one. The white one.
The one that just came back. Okay, so let's
me all along.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's get into it with our weekly segment. On this day, December the 10th, 2 birthdays today. S.A. Rios was born in 1978 and JTG was born in 1984. And then we go back to on this day, 1975, Terry Funk defeats Jack Briscoe to win the NWA World Heavyweight title in Miami, Florida. This match ended Briscoe's second reign with the belt and also made Terry and Dory Funk Jr. the only brothers to both hold the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. On this day, 2000, WWF held their Armageddon pay-per-view from the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center in Birmingham, Alabama, in front of 14,920 fans. The tagline for the show was, Lord, I'm coming home to you. The show featured 9 matches, one of those being on Sunday Night Heat. Was main evented with Kurt Angle defeating The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, The Undertaker, and Rikishi in a Hell in a Cell match to retain the WWF Championship. On this day, 2012, Scott Steiner officially dropped his countersuit against TNA, alleging non-payment of royalties and a lack of accounting for said royalties on Monday, December the 10th, via a letter to the court in Nashville. The suit was officially dropped 2 days later on December the 12th. On this day, in 2013, WWE announced WrestleMania 31 would take place in Santa Clara, California at Levi's Stadium on Sunday, March 25th or 29th, 2015. And those are the events that happened on this day, December the 10th in pro wrestling history.
I remember watching the build to WrestleMania 31 and being so disappointed.
Right?
And then blown away by that show.
Yeah, I think, because that was the second WrestleMania that we had and talked about on the show. And 30 was such a good show. And I think by the time we turned around to 31, we were just so excited for WrestleMania season. And the build was just okay. But yeah, then the show turned out fantastic. And then you flip to the following year where I thought the build to Dallas was an incredible build, and the show left me.
It was the same with WrestleMania 25 and 26.
Okay.
25 was supposed to be the spectacular show, and it ended up falling flat. And 26 ended up being the show that 25 should have been.
Yep.
Even 24. 24 was fantastic. 24 great, 25 underachieved, 26 great.
Which was the one that Bret Hart came back in?
26.
That one sucked.
That was in the toaster.
What an asshole. Was that what? Which one was the one Miz Was the one Miz main event, was that 26?
That was 27
27
in Miami.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Scotty says incredible build to Dallas. Yeah, I thought the build to the Dallas WrestleMania was really good. The show wasn't.
Was that the Zack Ryder one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great moment.
Yeah. To this day, Matt, you're still lucky that your old house didn't burn that night. So pissed. Yeah. WrestleMania 26, was not great. 27 was Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, good. All right, let's
27 Atlanta. Yeah, that's right.
The Dallas one was also the one where they had like the weird like graphics on like the ring, right? Wasn't that the Orton Bray where like the worms would just pop up?
No, I think that was the next year.
I think that was Roller Coaster.
Yeah, I think that was the next year because Bray and the Wyatt family got housed by The Rock and Cena in like 6 seconds at Dallas.
Okay, that's right. Man,
when Rock came out with the flamethrowers.
With the flamethrower, okay. Man, that's just awful.
Was there a Hell in a Cell match for that show?
No.
For which one, Dallas?
No, there wasn't. No.
Yeah,
Mark, was there? Do you remember one?
No, you don't. Stop.
Which Hell in a Cell?
Yeah.
Was there one on that card?
No. You're misremembering.
The cards are in your hands, Mark.
Misremembered. Please don't.
Which
I feel like there was an Undertaker Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, Mankind
32?
98. He died for your sins. He got thrown off the cell. Great. Next, what's the topic? Let's keep. It's a 2-hour show, guys. We don't have time. We gotta go. We're running out of time. It's practically 11 now.
I mean, I feel like at this point Tim hates him more than I do.
I don't hate. I hate
this spot.
I hate that we dedicate 90 seconds to a sound clip.
That was.
If you just give me the song, I'm fine. Instead, I have to hear a big whole spiel. Don't say it.
Wasn't that Shane?
No, I fucking hate you.
God damn it. Oh no.
Shane McMahon!
There, we got that out of the way early tonight.
You know what?
No, we got it. We're good.
We're done. It's out of the way.
You know, in
I'm
the
sure
spirit,
it won't
in
be
the,
the
in the
last
spirit,
time.
in the spirit of Christmas, I would just like to tell each and every one of y'all can suck my ass.
What the hell did I do?
Y'all all, you could have backed me up harder.
This was all on Mark. Mark said it.
It was on you.
That was my bad.
No,
I had a
it was
question.
you instigator.
Brought up. That's not true.
Ryan
being rude.
I got scolded for that's what she's setting myself.
You're leading the witness. Stop it.
I left it in Mark's hands. Mark,
I asked a question.
Who texted him?
Big Boss
Who
Man.
told him?
I mean, I'm sure we'll get the clip like 3 more times because
I don't think we get the clip again. If somebody says Shane McMahon, you play the music the rest of
Nope,
the show.
nope. That's a
how
reference.
it
That's a
works.
reference. It's not a thing.
I said when you play the music, you don't play the sound clip
okay.
again.
Thank God.
Sound clip once.
I mean-
I'm not trying to be a dick.
I was gonna say because I'm
My
sure
hair
Jim
is
and
pink.
Ryan both have the Shane McMahon AJ Styles match on their top 4 since it's their favorite fucking match of all
Wait,
time.
are you implying that somebody doesn't have that match on their 4 matches to watch?
This is my last episode.
I'm with you.
Well,
Well,
Two
we-
Count
best in the world.
Tuesday coming to you.
I'm gonna join Final Wrestling Place. instead.
Yo, when we do our spin-off for pop culture, I can't wait.
oh, that'll be fun.
Oh, that would be great.
All right, let's talk about the of course last week we talked about the big news with Sting returning and
Sting's
then
back?
well, not in the WWE.
Somebody gonna get stung.
But and Omega winning the title, which of course the big build was to there you go. I got my my Firefly Funhouse Christmas shirt on.
Yeah, Tim.
Oh yeah. Wait, hold on. I gotta get that sexy sax going. Oh yeah. That's right. Oh yeah. 3 Count Thursday.
No, I don't get that.
So it led to Omega.
Oh, sorry, that gave me gas.
Wham always gets you, Ryan. I'm sorry.
Wham will get you.
Wham does get you.
Wham will get
this
you.
time of year, Wham will get you.
It will get you. Led to Kenny Omega on Impact on Tuesday night with Don Callis and Josh Matthews, and then of course last night on AEW. Sorry, cousin Brian, we cannot restart the show. We do not quite have that technology yet. But did everybody watch Impact this week?
I saw the interview.
I saw the interview. I mean,
I watched the rest yet.
I watched the rest of the show. To me, I think this is maybe my issue with both shows is I don't think both shows were bad, but both shows just felt like an Impact, and it felt like an AEW Dynamite, and not even a great AEW Dynamite. I just thought that both shows kind of failed to capitalize on what was likely on what was higher viewership, because the Impact numbers came out. They were the highest they've been in a while. The AEW numbers came out. They almost hit 1 million. But I didn't think either show was anything special. And maybe I missed, specifically when talking about the Omega segments, I felt like on both shows, the Callis and Omega stuff was practically the same thing. Did I miss something? Did I not understand something?
I'd like to real quick, and then I'll defer to Tim, who I think is more of the Kenny Omega expert of the group, probably.
If somebody has to take the ledger, like
it would be you.
I get de facto me.
Sure,
but
yeah, that's fine.
This was like cleaner Kenny Omega, right? Like this is the cleaner.
It's close. It's the bravado of like New Japan Kenny, like best in the world, best bout machine, whatever you want to call it. But I did like the promo I liked Wednesday's promo better than Tuesday's.
I would agree with that. I liked Wednesdays better than Tuesday.
Mainly because I realized I'm not a fan of Josh Matthews.
Oh, the worst.
Hit that ding button.
The worst. No, that's not even a ding. That's a Kobe taker.
Kobe.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I don't
just,
know because like I don't know if when there's fans, if like he gets kind of drowned out a little bit, but like him and Madison Rain as a commentary team in an empty room.
I thought Charlie saying there was no EC3, no EY, no North, no MCMG. Chris Sabin took on Josh Alexander.
I think what he meant is like because there wasn't a tag match between the two. Like so
and
you have.
I thought Eric Young wrestled.
Yeah, Young was on.
Eric Young fought Cody Deaner.
Yeah, Young was on there.
Yeah.
I mean, Deanna.
And they had their world champion and Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary on.
I thought the women's tag was fine. I mean,
I thought it was fair. Yeah.
You know, but it just wasn't. I mean, I thought the fact that you didn't have Gallows and Anderson was a bit of a miss.
What I will say is I'm glad that they stuck to their guns. It felt like Impact was going to do what Impact is doing. Because you got to think, too, they're setting up for their pay-per-view in 2 weeks. Isn't Final Resolution is it this weekend?
I think it might be this weekend.
Yeah.
So this was technically their go-home show to, if it's not this week, it's next week. But Final Resolution's right around the corner. For them to redo everything for Final Resolution just to like make the show a bigger show, I wouldn't necessarily buy into that. I'd probably hold Judgment a little harder.
Yeah, and I think the comment here about they should have gone all out like Raw after Mania. I mean, and this isn't a shot at Impact. They don't have that ability.
Weren't they in the can?
Was it a recorded episode?
I feel like they record a lot of episodes.
No, you know what? You're right, and that's why they did. That's why they did the RV.
Yeah.
Interview. Okay. All right, so that's a little bit more forgivable.
Yeah, that's why it's like they kind of stuck to their plan,
sure.
And you can dub in commentary whenever you want.
Yeah,
because I think aren't Josh Matthews and Madison Rain together?
Yeah, which I think is probably why right now
they're doing commentary together,
so that they're within a COVID house or
right. So like, which makes complete sense to me. Like I'm fine with it.
Yeah, Josh Matthews.
It was really cool to see future me on TV more than once. I plan to grow old and age gracefully as Scott D'Amore does, because that's me. I am Scott D'Amore. Let me cut my hair and shave my face and wear exactly what Scott D'Amore wears, and y'all are gonna think that we're the same guy.
I mean, isn't it relatively like when we first met you? I think
I was Scott D'Amore. I was very Scott D'Amorean. Yes.
Now that we're sounding this one out,
yes.
But like, and I mean, I'm not by any means. I'm not writing off like the crossover stuff. I'm not saying this thing is a failure or anything like that. It definitely leaves me wanting more, which is I suppose a good thing. I don't really understand what I'm waiting for or what the last two nights were supposed to give me exactly, but I am still like, I'm still in to see where this goes, if it goes anywhere, because I have read some news and reports or whatever that once Callis's deal expires, he's just coming to AEW to manage and work with AEW and manage Omega, and there's never going to be another crossover again. Whether there's truth to that or not, obviously remain to be seen. And I hope it's not. Like the idea of like the two companies working together, and obviously, not to get wrapped up in numbers, but it worked well for both of them this week.
I feel like this week we established that it's maybe not so much both companies working together as much as it is Kenny Omega working for both companies. I didn't get a feeling that it's going to be AEW and Ring of Honor, and Impact Wrestling working together. I feel like it was exclusive to Kenny Omega.
Now, Mark, did you watch either of the shows?
I watched the interview on Impact or TNA, and then I caught most of AEW. I saw Kenny Omega on both shows. I did see that. And I got to agree with Smokey. I kind of feel like it's not necessarily Impact and AEW. It's more like Kenny Omega and Impact, which is cool because that could lead to other things and other wrestlers coming over. If done correctly, it could be really good.
Yeah, and like I said, if it just ends whenever Callis is done in Impact, then it goes from there. Let's change gears a little bit because we were gonna have a friend of the show on to talk about this. He was unable to join us, but I'm sure there'll be ample opportunity to have Nick join us and talk about AEW and stuff.
He passed it up. It's over.
He's done.
One-time thing.
Well,
one time.
It.
Sorry, Nick. The tribe is.
We get burned once and done.
But let's shift gears and look at AEW from last night, because obviously you had the Omega interview there, but you also had Sting and with Cody and Arn and Tony in the ring, and it felt like a cool, like, again, we talk about moments versus matches and whatnot, like that was a pretty cool moment. Like, I mean, it doesn't quite top the like surprise debut of Sting, but like Sting hugging Tony and all that, like that was a cool moment. Tim, obviously being the WCW guy you are, like that had to feel pretty damn cool.
It was really cool. Like, the foreshadowing that Sting took upon himself to do during the promo is very nice. Just seeing him back on TV and like giving me as a fan like the promise of, hey, I'm back for a while. I'm gonna be pretty close to things, and then the see you around. That definitely got me all excited, all ubbly bubbly.
I mean, they do have him on the roster with a 0-0 record. So I mean, he's not just around for nothing. So I mean, that kind of, I think, answers that question. I think that the promo was answered. I loved the glance up at Darby Allin in the crowd. I thought that was a great rub. And the potential of what they can do and how they can build Darby into a star from this is pretty fantastic. Ryan, thoughts on Dynamite from last night?
Yeah, like Tim said, I think the what did you say, the foreskin that Sting showed was really great as well in the promo.
I don't think that's the right word.
I mean,
foreshadowing. The foreshadowing that Sting. Yes, my bad. Yep, that was really cool.
I think Sting is born again, so he doesn't have any of that.
Oh, Jesus.
There's a whole DVD about it. It's awful.
Yeah, you have it. Hold it up.
First night
So
of
bad.
Hanukkah.
Oh, it is the first night of Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah, everybody.
Yeah.
Shalom.
Matt or Mark, any thoughts on if you saw the Sting promo last night? That said that segment.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was. It's really good to see Sting back in wrestling. Sting was never a WWE guy. I mean, it was cool that he was there and he's in the Hall of Fame, but he was always in the rival promotion. So to have him in AEW is pretty exciting, and to see him and Tony Schiavone together in a ring again is something I never thought would happen. So that was really cool too. But I'm glad to see him back, and it looks like he's gonna be able to give back to the wrestling world, if you will, especially with Darby Allin, kind of give him the sprinkle the Sting dust on him. So that's exciting.
I can't hear you, Matt. Are you?
Matt, can you hear me now? Now he's muted.
Best Matt segment ever.
I still can't hear you. I agree. This is I agree with.
I'll dub, but keep talking. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, well,
Matt's got a lot to say. He's muted again. Somebody help him.
I love Shane McMahon. The thing Shane McMahon does in the ring makes me a fan.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't. You're still.
I will definitely wear my Shane McMahon jersey next week on the podcast.
Well, I'm excited to hear that, Matt. I would have thought you still had that thing.
It still fits great. Thank you, Jim. Nope. Let me hit the mute button again. And I'll unmute myself. Shalom. Oh, Mark, we lost Mark now.
Oh, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Shut off, Matt. We cannot hear. What if I mute you and ask you to unmute? Will that do anything? Nope.
Nope. Look at this.
I think he's gonna.
Oh, the numbers are messed up.
Now Tim's.
Oh
Tim's
my
okay.
goodness.
So I'm gonna continue to talk. I'm gonna continue to talk about AEW.
Why don't we take our break?
We lost Matt.
Can we do that early?
I mean, we could. Oh, he's jumping back. Tim, don't change anything. He's jumping back in.
It's coming back, folks.
Tim, is Tim frozen?
Probably going to be in a different spot though, so you probably will have to
Tim.
fix around.
We're professionals.
This is exciting.
Hey, it works.
Wait, he's in. Wait, I think you're still muted.
There he is.
Let's just pretend it works.
Nope, definitely still can't hear you, guy.
I think you have to unplug your headphones. He can hear us. Now plug it back in at a medium pace.
I love how Ryan's telling us how to do things tech-wise.
Back and forth at a medium pace. Here, let John Cena help. Medium pace.
Oh my god.
I mean, it
oh, there we go.
Yeah!
Hey!
John Cena did it.
Woo.
Matt, you were saying about Shane McMahon.
Yeah, I was. I thank you for that. Shane McMahon is better than Sting, is what I was saying, right?
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I think that's what we were saying. Now, Tim, what are you trying to?
I'm not hearing him.
You're super quiet.
Yeah, I'm not hearing him.
You got it. When you talk about Shane McMahon, you have to speak up. You have to enunciate.
No, he needs to get that out of his mouth. That's a bad take. Wash that out.
Like really let it out. Like, McMahon. Like really let it out.
What I was saying was that I like the capacity that they're using Sting with AEW in terms of not like WWE would, where he would probably already have a title in his hands. So I do appreciate that aspect of it. If there's, one thing that AEW is doing right now, it is that they might bring like old timers back, but they don't like immediately thrust them into a title picture. Like, I don't know, like putting Goldberg up against Roman Reigns or something like that.
Hey, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, because that may or may not be in the news and rumors. And we will have thoughts on that. We all will have thoughts on that.
I was just giving an outlandish scenario. I wasn't saying one way or the other. I was
Tim,
just saying that's an extreme.
Matt is foreskinning the show.
He is foreskinning the show.
How dare he?
But overall for me, yeah, I wasn't super thrilled with Dynamite last night. It felt okay. It just didn't feel like a great, and maybe I just expected a bigger and better show because I figured more eyes were going to be on the product. I thought it was going to bring something better. I don't know. Any other thoughts on that?
Why did you think why did you think more eyes would be on it? Kenny Omega's the champion. He's an AEW guy. I don't know how that would have brought much more, because if you're watching Impact, I feel like you're probably watching AEW.
Well, I mean, you had last week was the Sting surprise. So it was something you were not expecting. They have spent the last week building up that Sting speaks. Like if you watch any like TBS, TNT for anything, that there's been commercials that have been promoting the fact that Sting is going to speak this week.
Okay.
So I assume that there is going to be some people that don't normally watch the product that
fair.
May have tuned in.
Do you think we got the basketball fans from Shaq speaking? Did they pull the NBA audience like you were thinking?
Maybe. I mean, I thought the Shaq and Brandy segment was actually pretty funny. I actually enjoyed it.
I'm very curious as to what those ratings are going to look like, since the NBA season is starting much later this year.
Mm-hmm.
In a normal year, the NBA season would have already been going on for a whole month by now. And I think the league starts, isn't it the 22nd?
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see what the crossover is going to look like between that.
Yeah, because I think I think the Christmas week episode is preempted by NBA. like it's a,
One of the two is, yeah.
At 8 o'clock or whenever the NBA, and then you have the two New Year's bashes or whatever they're calling them.
New Year's Dash.
New Year's
Evil.
Yeah, not to be confused with New Year's Evil and that goofy ass cartoon that NXT has for it. But yeah, I mean, it was, it just the main event was, man, I thoroughly enjoyed the inner circle segment last night. But yeah, the show is just okay. Any other thoughts on the AEW Omega Impact stuff before we jump to the Slammy Awards? All right, so WWE announced this week that the Slammy Awards are returning this year, and they announced
that was a real quick transition. Any other thoughts? So WWE.
Well, I saw head shake. I saw heads shaking no, so I figured we can go ahead and transition.
We know our positions in this show,
We
Jim.
do. We get it, Jim. It's fine.
I mean, are there other thoughts? We can wait.
If we end early, we end early. We better not talk about AEW more.
Let me. Yeah, we don't want Jim's head to explode.
No.
Here.
Go ahead, by all means.
Let me just throw this out to the 3 count audience. It has literally nothing to do with anything that we have talked about the entire night. If any of you guys are beer connoisseurs, my stepdad is a big IPA fan, but he only likes the malty ones. He doesn't like the New England or the milkshake ones. So if you know of a dark IPA that's readily available, just throw those into the comments. That's all I had to add.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Any other thoughts before we move to the Slammy Awards? Okay. They
Mark, is E.T. a Christmas movie?
Is E.T. Christmas? No, but you could argue a Halloween movie because Elliot and his friends took E.T. out trick-or-treating.
I have a question.
Sure.
So
go ahead, Tim.
Not to plug Final Wrestling Place early, but we talked about the Netflix series, the holiday movies that made us, which covers Elf and Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
And I'm just curious, between us gals, how do you all feel about Nightmare Before Christmas?
What are you asking?
I will answer this question first because I do know what you're asking. I typically watch it on Halloween. However, if people watch it on Christmas, I don't have an issue with that. I think it's fine for either holiday season, depending on the mood that you're in.
But is it so? Here's what I'm really getting at.
Ask it.
Is it good? Because I think I'm the only white person in the world that hates Nightmare Before Christmas.
Probably the only white person that hates it. I don't know that there's probably other white people that don't really care either way, but to say hate, I think it's probably just rested solely on your shoulders.
That's fine.
And that is your cross to bear, unfortunately. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a good movie. I just think that there's just the nostalgia to it. I know there's the big Tim Burton cult, as well as just going to watch anything that he does and say it's the greatest thing ever. So there's always that. I do watch it every year. There's the storyline is kind of doesn't make much sense. But for what it was at the time, I think it's fine.
I'll be honest, it's probably been over 15 years since I've even watched the movie.
I'll say this, Tim. It's probably on par with A Christmas Story, whereas it's greatly overrated by a large number of people. You know, it's a
That's
fine
twice
movie.
now I feel attacked in the last like 2 minutes.
You know what? Hit that Shane McMahon sounder again. This guy got it.
Because when you say things like watch something and it's a cult and just say it's the best ever, I feel like I'm attacked from my WWE fan. And then you're gonna go and take shots at a Christmas store. I just feel personal. I just want you to know I feel attacked.
Drew those conclusions, then that's on you. I just put it out there. I'm not saying that either is necessarily a bad film. I just think that both of them are hyped up more so than they're probably deserving of.
Fair. Like,
there's no reason A Christmas Story needs to be on for 24 hours.
Absolutely
no reason. There's no reason that if you want to have it on for 24 hours that it needs to be attached. There's literally hundreds of other channels on a cable system.
There's also literally 100 other movies that they could play back to back to back to back to back to fill 24 hours.
You're right, and they choose to watch that one.
And that's a bad choice, fam.
I mean, that's one opinion.
Okay, the kid got his tongue stuck. Really cool gag. Nice. Put your eye out. Sweet. All right, that's the movie, right? That's it, right?
There are parts of the movie, yes.
What? I don't know.
I mean,
Santa Claus kicks him down the sliding board and the leg lamp.
I read a thing this week that and I didn't necessarily know this because I didn't do much research into A Christmas Story because it is just kind of what it is. It's not one of my favorites, but it's based on a collection of short stories. So people said that having it on TBS with the commercial breaks is good because they just break it up.
Yeah, they break it up as the story.
Because none of any of the movie has to do with each like storyline. Like there's the lamp storyline, there's the gun, there's the dogs and the turkey, and then there's the
the only theme throughout the entire film is Ralphie wants the gun, and then he finally gets the gun, and like it's that like one present that like most kids have, like that, like I had a like when I was a kid, I had asked for tickets to a WWE show at Hershey, and it was kind of a similar thing. My dad had Santa, had hid the envelope with the tickets in the tree. So
he hid your pay envelope? Is that what he did?
We open up all the presents and like there was no ticket. So like I was like literally like Ralphie. So like I got cool shit, but I was bummed out because I didn't get the one thing. And like, my dad played off like the old man in the movie. Was like, what's that on the tree? And like we had fucking video of it, and I opened up the envelope and I freaked out. Like Ralphie freaked out when he got the gun. So like that's the underlying theme. But yeah, everything else is a broken up story within itself. And to be honest, like growing up, I had never seen the movie like start to finish. I just had seen it at random points throughout the show, throughout the airings. So like the one year the movie theater in Lidditz had shown it on like a Monday night, and I went out and saw the movie, and it was the first time that I'd ever actually seen it from start to finish.
Right. I mean, does anyone actually like pop in the DVD of A Christmas Story and sit and watch it? Like, I have it on Christmas while it's in the background while we're like unwrapping gifts, like making breakfast, doing random things. But
because there's literally no other movies on because it's just on 24
right
hours.
And because it's one of those movies where you don't have to sit and watch it either. Like I can see, oh, there's the tongue on the pulse scene, ha, and then like I don't need to see the next 45 minutes of it, and then here he is getting his gun. There's the feel good part, credits roll.
Oh, he got his tongue stuck again. Cool.
Fragile, look at this.
Like I'm not implying that it's the greatest Christmas movie. I will never.
I'm implying that the Hallmark KFC mashup, A Recipe for Seduction, will probably be better.
I love it. Gun to your heads right now. Best Christmas movie, go.
Christmas Vacation.
One answer.
Christmas Vacation for sure.
If gun in my head, I would probably go Christmas Vacation.
Recipe for Seduction.
Okay, now your real answer. That's not another teen movie.
It's got to be Christmas Vacation. Has to be. You shake your head no.
I'm so mad sad.
What are you gonna say? The Santa Claus?
Each and every one of you.
Elf?
The Santa Claus isn't bad.
Home Alone.
Oh, Home Alone's great.
Number one.
Oh, Home Alone's pretty good.
Not in my top 3.
Yeah, not number 1, but
I hold so now this is where I heel turn on everybody.
Here we go.
Christmas Vacation to me is in the same boat as Nightmare Before Christmas and A Christmas Story.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Take that back.
Thank you.
That's
No.
fair. That's
Appreciate
right.
that.
No.
That's right. To answer your original question, I think A Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas movie. It has Christmas in the title. It doesn't have Halloween in the title.
Right, but I just want to say that it sucks, and that's all it is to it.
I
Slammy
think you
Awards.
have to look back at when it came out. It's an old film. It's over 20 years old.
it was cutting edge back when it came out.
I think if you watch it today, it will not hold up. I think back then you were like, "Oh, damn, this is different. We've never seen anything like this." And then the Tim Burton cult did the rest.
Devin says,
how many movies have been like it? Devin is a fucking Dolphins fan. It doesn't matter.
He was probably gonna agree with you.
Devin, I love you. I just like to mess with you. What did he say?
He said Christmas Vacation would be his.
Yeah, he's right. Like I said,
absolutely.
So
I mean, movies
he's allowed to have his own
similar
opinion, but screw you.
There's not a ton of movies like Nightmare Before Christmas unless you're looking in the Tim Burton cult. Like Beetlejuice came out before Nightmare Before Christmas and had a better story and kind of the same feel with the graphics. So
that's fair.
And better actors too.
Shoot, even Tim Burton's Batman is kind of in the same vein too.
Right. So,
I mean, it's still
you can
dark
look at
and
those.
spooky and
Sure.
creepy.
And I want to say the other week someone tweeted the 3 count page because I saw Tim kind of get into the discussion that Home Alone wasn't a Christmas movie because it just takes place.
Yeah,
around
that was
Christmas
bad.
time.
What was that? Was who was it? That was the Bad Take guy.
Charlie? That was
no,
Charlie.
no.
Was it
Charlie the
Scotty?
Bad Take.
No,
guy?
Charlie's cool. I'm cool with Charlie except for anything he says about Karrion Cross. The other guy, 4 cards, 81.
Oh,
yeah, 4 cards straight.
Bad Take guy. Him saying that Home Alone's not a Christmas movie. He can.
I don't and this is fine. I'm fine riffing.
In what world?
We can talk this up to the break, and then we'll hit Slammy's, and whatever the other the matches. In what world is Home Alone not a Christmas movie? Like the
I'm
only
very curious.
reason that they're on the trip is because it's
Christmas.
Christmas.
So his logic was just that it takes place around Christmas, but if that's your criteria, that discounts a lot of like classic Christmas movies. Like, what about White Christmas makes it a Christmas movie, except that it A, has Christmas in the title, and B, takes place around Christmas? What makes It's a Wonderful Life a Christmas movie?
What makes
aside from
Christmas
those same
Vacation? Because
Right.
Christmas
Miracle on
Vacation,
34th
they don't
Street.
have a scene where they're opening up presents or anything like that.
They did have the
Unless-
Christmas lights.
Well, sure.
Well,
You don't set up
the
Thanksgiving
criteria-
lights.
Unless the criteria is like Santa Claus has to be included in it, then like if it's taking place around Christmas, then it is a Christmas movie. Like Love Actually takes place around Christmas, so is a Christmas movie. Just Friends takes place around Christmas, so is a Christmas movie. One of the most underrated Christmas movies, in my opinion.
Just Friends. It's what Ryan Reynolds and who's the female in that?
Well, Anna Faris is the one that everyone remembers, and then
Jennifer Aniston.
It's not Jennifer. That's Friends with Benefits. Friends with Money. Sorry. I actually don't remember the other actress's name.
Amy
Can you
Smart.
look it up? Thank you.
That's the one.
Be smart, of course.
Yeah, no. Just Friends is actually really, really funny. If you've never had to watch, but yeah, like, I mean, the whole premise of Home Alone. I mean, it's a Christmas trip. It's. I mean, yeah. I don't.
I mean, I guess he could make the argument they went on vacation. Doesn't have to be a Christmas trip. They left Kevin at home. Shenanigans happen.
If other things were to have taken place either before or after the Christmas season, I'd be okay with it. But like literally everything about this screams Christmas.
I agree. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just trying to.
They've got the caroling at the church. You've got
Marv stepping on the ornaments, like
yeah, that's true.
You have Michael Jordan dancing around the Christmas tree.
Sends chills through my spine every single
Christmas music.
Now, Home Alone 2 is a Christmas movie, then, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
I worked with
It's lost in New York.
I could see people saying Home Alone 3 is not because it's just the kid is homesick from school.
Yes.
Like
if you talk about Home Alone 3, I feel like you should be disqualified from the conversation anyhow.
Also fair.
I didn't even know there was a third one.
Yeah, it's not Macaulay Culkin.
Culkin.
Yeah.
So it
there you go.
doesn't even count. But I worked with a girl that tried to argue that Home Alone 2 was greater than Home Alone 1.
I enjoy Home Alone 2 a lot.
I do too.
Home Alone 2 is really good, but I don't think it is better than the first one.
It's got the creepy fucking pigeon lady. It might be Home Alone 2, just on her.
Piers Morgan in a wig?
Yeah, whoever.
I mean, it's also got, it has 45s in it.
He is.
Which automatically starts to disqualify it.
Well, no, like that era 45 is solid.
Big deal.
45 wasn't bad till around 2016, you dig? Like Trump was cool until like 2014.
2013.
Okay.
Got involved in the birther stuff, so let's take it back a little.
Okay.
Take the cast of both films, because Home Alone 2 has the exact same cast of Home Alone 1.
And they added more people.
The supporting cast includes Tim Curry, includes Rob Schneider, includes Donald J. Trump. The Bird Lady is a better, like, scary saving friend than the shovel guy, in my opinion.
And the Turtle Doves.
Oh, the Turtle Doves.
Love
I think she was right. You need to call her and apologize on the show.
My only critique is that they go to Duncan's toy chests when FAO Schwartz is just there for the taking, and I understand why.
I heard that there was a giant kid playing a giant piano over there. They couldn't block off enough of the showroom to get around him.
But yeah, I think the bottom line here is the Home Alones are definitely, unequivocally, Christmas movies.
Definitely Christmas
Well,
films.
Jim, let me ask you this before we wrap up on the Christmas movies. As
Sure.
kind of the lone defender of a Christmas story in the group, does that film make it into your top 5 or top 10 of Christmas films?
Definitely top 10, probably top 5 for me personally, because like I rank them as they mean to me. Like for a long time that was my favorite Christmas movie, but like the older I've gotten, the more first off, the more I appreciate the old man in that movie, but also the more I appreciate Clark Griswold and Christmas Vacation, and just how much of a fucking nightmare the holidays can typically be. So I think Christmas Vacation has somewhat kind of taken over as my favorite, but Christmas Stories, I would say definitely top 5. I would say definitely top 5 for me. Which I know we had talked about one of our Christmas, I don't know if we're going to do a draft or what have you. Tim's freaking out. I thought we were going to do songs or movies, or maybe we'll do both. Yeah, I do want to get out to the house though. I've had friends of mine, and my mom and stepdad have made it to the Christmas Story house out in Cleveland, so it's really cool. Yes, Tim.
I actually need a breaking news sounder.
Ooh. And coming in hot.
It is being reported by TMZ that Tommy Tiny Zeus Lister has passed away.
What?
Law enforcement told TMZ they got a call from the actor's Marina Del Rey apartment on Thursday before 3 p.m. for an unconscious male. The sources are reporting that Tommy was not transported to the hospital as he was pronounced dead on scene. Tiny Zeus Lester passes away at 62.
Jesus. Okay. Well, that's
a shame.
Yeah, that sucks. That's no good. Let's pause here then. And we will come back and we will discuss the Slammy Awards, and we will discuss some of the matches that every fan should see. Stick with us. 3 Count Thursday.
We'll be right back.
Three Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis on all things sports. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, subscribe to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports, and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop. Welcome back to 3 Count Thursday. We are live here on our Facebook page, and we are glad you can be with us here on a Thursday night. We appreciate you joining us, interacting with us in the Facebook Live video, and make sure you follow and subscribe to us on all podcast platforms: Google Play, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Spotify, if I didn't say that one, Apple Podcasts as well. So again, thank you for all your continued support. We certainly do appreciate that. So the WWE earlier this week announced that it is Slammy season. From the release, the WWE's biggest award show makes a triumphant return when the 2020 Slammy Awards, the Best of Raw and SmackDown, stream live on WWE Network and WWE's digital and social platforms on Wednesday, December the 23rd at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And they have the categories that are listed. If you go to WWE.com, you get to vote on these. The first set of voting is open now. I think the remainder of the voting will open up over the next few weeks. But the categories are Superstar of the Year, Match of the Year, Rivalry of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Return of the Year, Ring Gear of the Year, Breakout Star of the Year, Female Superstar of the Year, Male Superstar of the Year, and Moment of the Year. So yeah, it says here the WWE Universe will be voting to decide the winners of the first 5 awards listed above. Voting is now open. Be sure to have your voice heard for your favorite WWE superstars and matches of 2020. So I kind of decided, since the awards are not presented until Wednesday the 23rd, that will give us this week and next week to talk about the Slammy. So I kind of broke them in half. The 5 that are up for voting now and then the other 5 we will talk about next week. And so we will tonight cover Superstar of the Year, Match of the Year, Rivalry of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, and Return of the Year. We'll go through the categories. We'll go through who is nominated, and then we will give who we think is the winner of that category. So starting with Superstar, actually we'll build our way up to Superstar. Cousin Brian says ring gear of the award goes to Bam Bam Bigelow. I would certainly agree. Always loved always loved the Bammers gear. So why not? We will start. You know what? Screw it. We'll work top to bottom. I keep changing my mind. With Superstar of the Year, the nominees are Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Braun Strowman, The Fiend Bray Wyatt, Asuka, Sasha Banks, Bailey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. And you know, it's funny. I had gone through and I'd circled all of my responses in this one, except for this, because like I was debating on this one, and then I didn't go back and actually circle my my response, and so I'm kind of leaning between like Bailey and Drew McIntyre, just because if you look at the entirety of the year, I feel like the two of them have kind of just been at the top, and I felt like they've had the best year. But if we go back to the Royal Rumble and you look at what Brock Lesnar was doing in the Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre comes in, he gets the elimination of Brock, he goes on to win, he he wins the championship over Brock, and then he has a great run, and obviously with everything going on this year, I think Drew McIntyre carrying that brand and doing it in a kind of impossible circumstances. I'm going to say Drew McIntyre is your superstar of the year. Let's go to Matt. Who is your superstar of the year in 2020?
It must be 2020 because I am going to say Roman Reigns. And
now I did not see that coming.
Saying that. Yeah, I mean it's crazy to me, but the storyline he's had, and I know I've been the one in the group to like pick at it and poke some holes in it, but the storyline with the family, him getting Paul Heyman to be in his corner as the mouthpiece, I think is a very strong move towards getting Roman to that status that I think we all want him to see. So that would be my choice, plus the whole comeback story. I won't say I didn't see it coming, but I mean, for him to at least like come back from like I understood why he took the step back. So for him to be in the ring right now is still a very big deal. So I think all of those things combined just kind of makes me more wanting to say Roman's had the best 2020. If you can have a good 2020 at this point, I think Roman has.
Sure. Intern Mark, who would be your superstar of the year for 2020?
Was Goldberg an option?
Goldberg was not an option on this list.
Okay, in that case, let me see here. I was kind of torn between Roman Reigns and McIntyre and The Fiend. But to me personally, I've been most entertained by Reigns with that heel character and the fact he came back after that illness and just the way the world has been in 2020. I got to go with Roman Reigns. And I wasn't a big Roman Reigns fan before, but the whole thing with Heyman and the Samoan Dynasty, I can really get behind that. I like that. So I'm going to go with Reigns.
All right, Ryan, we'll go to you here. We are running down the Slammy Awards. for 2020. We're starting with Superstar of the Year. The nominees are Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Braun Strowman, The Fiend Bray Wyatt, Asuka, Sasha Banks, Bailey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair.
So the whole roster. Got it. This one has to be The Fiend. I think that is the most popular thing that WWE has going right now. I see why The Fiend does not make sense to win it. So I think WWE will work this and The Fiend will not win. But I would vote for The Fiend.
And Tim, who would be your Superstar of the Year?
I think that the answer is definitely Drew McIntyre. He's the only person that's really had a complete year on the list. I mean, there's 3 people to me, honestly, that I would think that if you look at the list objectively, it could either be Drew's, it could be Asuka, or it could be Bailey. But I'm giving it to Drew. Very strong showing at the Royal Rumble, picking up the victory over Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, holding the title until he loses it to Randy Orton, only to win it back. And he's champion today. So world champion for 9 months. Pretty impressive reign. The face of the COVID era for WWE. So I'm going with Drew McIntyre.
All right, very good. Devin has The Fiend, and Cousin Brian says Roman benefits from no crowds to counter message the creative intent. I agree, because I think if with a normal crowd, I think if you get this Roman Reigns, you're probably getting more cheers than boos, which would definitely be counterproductive to what the message they're trying to get across. Then we go to Match of the Year. These are the nominees: Undertaker versus AJ Styles in the Boneyard match at WrestleMania 36. The New Day versus the Hurt Business for the Raw Tag Team titles on November 16th. Monday Night Raw. Edge versus Randy Orton, the greatest wrestling match ever at Backlash. Where is it? Why is there only? Oh,
He raped my back. Yeah, now he didn't literally rape.
Men's Royal Rumble match. AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental Championship Tournament Finals on SmackDown in June. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso for the Universal Championship in the I Quit Hell in a Cell match at Hell in a Cell. Sasha Banks versus Bailey for the SmackDown Women's title in Hell in a Cell. AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn versus Jeff Hardy for the Intercontinental title in a triple threat ladder match at Clash of Champions. Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns at Survivor Series, or Becky Lynch versus Asuka back at the Royal Rumble. I was kind of going back and forth on these, but for me, having no clue what a Boneyard match was, being concerned about what exactly is a Boneyard match, and just the way that match over delivered in every single way, and just how perfect that was pulled off and delivering the cinematic matches. I have to go with the Boneyard match. Tim, we'll go to you.
I would have said the Boneyard match until Roman Reigns fought Jey Uso in Hell in a Cell. That's the best match of 2020. Everything else is second place. This is. I'm gonna go back and watch that tonight. Like now got a hankering for it again.
I might go watch the Boneyard match tonight.
You watch the Boneyard match, and then you watch the Hell in a Cell match, and you tell me which is which. I'm voting right now. I got the checkbox clicked. I'm hitting submit.
There you go.
Done.
Tim voted. Ryan, Match of the Year.
It's a shame that Tim just voted for the second greatest match of the year, which is fine. You can be wrong twice, according to Devin. The Boneyard match absolutely should be the match of the year. It set the standard for cinematic matches. It hit an absolute home run, and this is a fitting nod for the Undertaker to be represented on this show as well.
Intern Mark, match of the year.
Well, this is a tough one because I'm torn between Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and the Boneyard match. But I think I'm going to have to go with the Boneyard match because it was the first cinematic match. It set the standard. It delivered. So I'm going to have to go with the Boneyard match.
Very good. And Matt, how about you?
I'm going to choose the match that you said, the only one that I really loved, and that was the Boneyard match.
Now, I would have pegged you for Roman and Jay. Well, they didn't have the first one when Jimmy came back, so I could see why. All right, very good. Let's go.
Yeah, if that one had been on the list, then that's a clear vote.
Then we go to rivalry of the year. The nominees are Seth Rollins versus the Mysterio family, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, Edge versus Randy Orton, Sasha Banks versus Bayley, R-Truth versus the World, and Lana versus the announce table. I'm gonna go honorable mention to Lana versus the announce table. And even though it was kind of one of the shorter lived ones here, just in kind of the tail end of 2020, the golden role models and splitting up and the match that it turned into at Hell in a Cell, Sasha versus Bayley. I absolutely loved what they did in that short period of time. I do still kind of wish that it would have went longer and the payoff match would have been at Rumble or Mania, but in these uncertain times, I have no issue that they paid it off sooner. We got a great Hell in a Cell. Matt.
Again, it must be 2020 because Jim and I are agreeing on things, because I also have Sasha and Bayley as my pick, just because I think the longevity of this feud, and boy, that Mysterio family really tempted me. But yeah, it's got to be Sasha and Bayley for me.
Intern Mark.
I'll tell you what, this was another tough one, coming right down between the Mysterio family and anybody. But the rivalry with Bayley and Sasha, the story's been so well done and just spread out over so many months. I have to go with that as the best rivalry.
Going back, Devin, I'm sorry, had the Boneyard match for his match of the year. Ryan, who do you have for the rivalry of the year?
Jim, that's a great question. I'm glad you've asked it here tonight. I didn't give much thought to this until you said it. I love the two humor ones that are included, Lana and the Table and R-Truth versus the World. I think they will obviously get enough votes in the land of sports entertainment. But I feel like the role models has a lot of recency bias, and I don't think there was anything more important than renewing Edge versus Randy Orton and the rivalry between those two. So that'll be my pick.
Very good. And Tim, how about you?
I am going with longevity. I'm going with a captivating story. I'm going Sasha and Bayley.
Very good. Then we go to tag team of the year. The nominees are the Golden Role Models, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, The New Day, The Street Profits, and Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. So literally the 5 tag teams that are in the World Wrestling Federation Entertainment. I loved Sasha and Bayley. I loved what they did. But for me, I look at the longevity of the Street Profits as tag team champions, the fact that you have a bona fide star in Montez Ford, and Dawkins is no slouch. I absolutely love these guys. It's a shame that some of these tag teams have had their run without a crowd, but for me, it's the Street Profits. They are the number 1 tag team. Devin had Edge and Randy as rivalry. Matt, I think Tim, we'll go back your way. We'll go back the Serpentine. How about you? Tag team of the year.
Profits are up. Nobody had a hotter 2020 than the Street Profits.
Very good. Ryan?
Yeah, you guys are both correct. It's absolutely the Street Profits. It's a shame because I think tag team wise, it Knock and Cesaro, they just didn't have the year that they should and could have had. But that team, I think, could have done so much. But it absolutely, I have to agree with yourself and Mr. Tim and say the Street Profits.
Intern Mark.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Street Profits for me.
And Matt.
Yeah, it's surprising that for the first year since these awards started, the Usos aren't going to win Tag Team of the Year. But I've got to make this unanimous. I think the Street Profits ran the tag team division. I think they put tag team wrestling back on the map in WWE as we've been like longing to see, and it's not just kind of like one of those thrown together tag teams that we're used to seeing with WWE. It's a legitimate tag team. It's a shame that the Iconics couldn't be considered in this because I think that they had a stake in the claim more so than kind of any of the other teams that were mentioned beyond the Street Profits and the New Day for longevity purposes. And I think Ryan's right that, that Shinsuke Cesaro could have been a very good tag team if they had more of a resume to put forth in 2020. So for all of those reasons, I think it just rests on the Street Profits to kind of carry that.
Now, Matt, if the Usos went harder in the paint, you think they would have made the list this year?
I feel like if they hadn't thrown in the towel so early,
that's
they
fair.
Probably would have been considered, but
that's fair.
I mean, like they easily could have asked him 7 more times, and he could have done like 6 more. So I mean,
I get it.
Gotta do it, Oos.
Performance issues, man. It happens. It's 2020. You get a pass here, Usos. But it is what it is.
Yeah, in the comments here, Devin, cousin Brian Lee, all have the Street Profits. This one was a fairly easy one, I thought. And then we go to.
So, before we move on, will any of us be surprised if the Street Profits don't win?
They're absolutely not going to win.
No.
Right. Okay.
Like,
just so we're all clear.
And I honestly just assume that like the online voting is like 1/100th of the vote. Like I assume that like the online voting like isn't truly going to matter, and even if it does, like what they can just skew it when they put the graph up that shows who knows.
Like the time Cena Rock once in a lifetime for the 3rd time won match of the year when it was just AA Rock Bottom back and forth for 30 minutes.
Right. Which like for me, it's like I'd love to see like a Cyber Sunday or Taboo Tuesday, but will like the voting even be like legit anyway? Like, are they just going to give the matches that they want to see? All right. And then we finish here this week with Return of the Year. The nominees are Edge, Roman Reigns, MVP, Goldberg, and Sami Zayn.
He's really on that list?
Who, Goldberg?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on like
oh my God. So
bad.
We'll talk about this in the news and rumors, I guess. But man, they're really setting the groundwork, aren't they?
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, there's no way he should be anything higher than 5th out of 5 on this list. And he quite frankly should be like 6th or lower, but like 5th out of 5 out of these nominees. But like, I'm like, I just keep looking over this list and I'm like, as cool as like Sammy's return, to me, it was down to MVP, Roman Reigns, and Edge. And I can't not give it to Edge. Like that moment at the Royal Rumble, like it feels like the last good moment before things really went to hell. Like and I've watched that clip like so many times. Like Roman coming back, awesome. MVP's had an incredible year, but like moments versus matches, and that moment is like eternal, I think. Matt, we'll go to you.
Before I make my pick, is Tim frozen?
No,
you've just been holding that.
I am
pose.
reading.
You were holding that pose for the longest time.
Yeah, I'm really good at like holding a pose.
I'm
I'll get you with another one right here. Just
all right. Well, I'll see if you can hold it during my pick. But yes, Jim, correct. That moment with Edge returning, that is one that I didn't see coming, to steal a catchphrase from a different pay-per-view in the same year. I think Edge coming back after us like saying for so long that we wanted it to happen, but we didn't think it would, for him to actually come back, compete in ring, and not just for like a Royal Rumble spot, but to like take it into a feud with Randy Orton, who had a hell of a year, and turn it into something so much bigger than just like a moment where you're like, oh, here's this retired wrestler that's going to get tossed out of the ring. And Edge was like jacked too, like in like premier shape, coming back to the ring. I mean, it's got to be Edge for me.
Intern Mark.
Well, I'll tell you what, the MVP coming back was surprising. I didn't expect that. Roman Reigns, I knew would be back sooner or later. At least I hope he would be. But Etch, I never thought I'd see Etch back in the ring. So I'm going to have to go with Etch, the rated R superstar Etch.
Etch. And proper Pennsylvania Etch. Dutch, too. I love it. Were they talking about that at Roots the Tuesday after Royal Rumble, talking about the return of Etch?
I was hanging around with Vernon and Christopher, and we were talking extensively about the Royal Rumble, and we were all shocked. The Amish community, I can tell you for sure, was shocked that Etch made a comeback. They thought Etch was on the shelf.
Most certainly. Ryan, who do you have for return of the year?
Yeah, the first time I saw this, I said, this is easy Roman Reigns. And then I remembered the actual comeback from leukemia was last year. And he was just off for COVID. And it wasn't his actual return. And then it became very clear that this is Edge.
Who?
Edge.
And Tim, we go to you.
Only one return this year brought a tear to my eye.
Only one WWE return. Did the return of Sting bring a tear?
I didn't cry. No.
Okay.
I was just very happy. But Edge, the rated R superstar. Edge coming back has to be the return of the decade, not just the year.
Devin and Lee have Edge. Cousin Brian says the gobbledygooker.
That's a very
return
point.
year. He says, or Edge for the return moment, Roman for return impact. Which I would agree. I mean, but I would almost argue too that if you're going to go return for impact, like the impact of the return, I would argue that MVP might even beat out Roman. Like what MVP's done with the Hurt Business, and I mean he's gotten me to be a fan of Bob Lashley. I mean that's impressive in and of itself. But yeah, I think Etch is the right answer.
I think people can be most surprised by the MVP return, which was supposed to be like a one-off, maybe a two-off at most.
Rumble and Raw.
And it turned into an entire year program centered around him developing a brilliant. I mean, kudos to him.
It's like the only thing left over from Paul Heyman being in charge of Raw.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's fair.
It's like the only thing that's left.
Remember that first Raw with Paul Heyman, and they like speared somebody through the back, and they got that crazy like behind the scenes view.
Yep.
Bob.
And then nothing happened with that at all.
COVID happened.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, COVID,
That's fair.
COVID derailed a lot of things, I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think too. Like,
it's not like it's unlike WWE, just like try to do something and then just like the next week be like, no, we didn't do that.
Okay,
Like,
name one other thing that they've done.
when the Raw anonymous GM came back for 1 week.
I don't remember.
Well,
Exactly.
Raw Underground was there for like a month.
I don't remember that either.
What was the other thing? That was a Raw Underground, and then something else was like they tried out around the same time, and both of them have just
the Raw Ninjas.
Oh, that's right, the Ninjas. They came and went pretty quick. Well, remember when like the third hour of Monday now, and this is back when we had crowds, but like the third hour of Raw was supposed to be like lights out or whatever.
DeAndre the Giant has been 3 things in 2020.
100% accurate.
He was the big ninja. He was the doorman for Raw Underground, and now, he's Olmec. I don't know what.
Yeah, he's
Olmec, the guy from Legends of the Hidden Temple.
That's Olmec. Yeah, that's his name, right?
Oh, I didn't know it was his
No,
name.
what is his name? What do they call? Old Bay. I don't know what his name.
Steve.
Old Bay.
Old Bay.
What's
No, that's Adam Cole in 20 years when he's a manager. He's Old Bay.
I need to know what his. I feel so bad that I don't know what DeAndre the Giant's name is now.
OLMOS.
Almost. Yeah, almost. Almost had it.
Almost.
Oh, you almost had it. Ha ha ha.
Unreal. Matt, this might be my last show too.
Yeah, actually, it might be mine.
We're all just going to Final Wrestling Place.
Yeah.
I will happily absorb 3 Count Thursday into Final Wrestling Place. Bring your tired, you're weary. We need content creators.
Yeah,
Tim,
Tim,
I need some help.
I just saw WWE just shared the link about Zeus. Not that TMZ isn't a trustworthy source, but it's definitely
TMZ is literally like like whenever I hear there's a rumor, like somebody's floating around on Twitter is like so and so's dead, I always go TMZ
first place to go, because they usually are on top of that kind of stuff,
because they were on top of the Kobe stuff.
They were.
Like,
I was gonna say, like the last
we were also
time
on
we
the
had
before.
Last time we had breaking news was when Tim broke the Kobe passing away, that I remember anyway.
Yeah, and then a month and a half later, the entire world went to hell. So I'm
yeah.
It's not Kobe's fault.
Thanks, Tim.
I'm a little scared of like what's waiting in the pipeline over the next.
That was our live Rumble show, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Like that's the great that day, because obviously 2020 has been like crappy for everybody, but you go back to that was Royal Rumble Sunday. We broke that news, and like when we got off the air, that was the day I found out my grandma had fell, and then then she passed in August. So 2020's been bad for Big Jim even before it got bad for everybody else. Cousin Brian says he usually hears about deaths from the Iron Sheik. So I guess the Iron Sheik, I don't know if he works for TMZ.
Iron Sheik Baba.
If he just tweets those things out. But our final topic for the night is this it's something I've had on the agenda for a couple of weeks and was just gotten bumped for various reasons. But back before Survivor Series, The Undertaker was on Hot Ones, which if you've never seen it, it's 10 progressively hotter hot sauces. You eat a wing, answer a couple of questions, move on to the next wing. And one of the questions that the host asked The Undertaker was, if you are presenting wrestling to basically to like a non-wrestling fan, what are the 4 matches to you that you would recommend people watch to get kind of a full scope of what professional wrestling is, at least coming from you. So I was like, this sounds like a great show topic. Is there anybody that wants to kick off the list? I always feel bad that I always take the lead. So if there's anybody, Matt, I saw your hand first, and we'll go to you first.
I just want to preface this because I'll give. Do we want to do like honorable mentions last?
If you want to do them now, we can, or we can go. Yeah, we'll do them now. Ryan says now. We'll do honorable mentions now.
I will say this, and it was tough for me because Jim gave me like 90 minutes to think of this because I got the topics at 6:30 and we go live at 8. So
Kobe.
Thanks, Jim, who's been sitting on this for weeks apparently. Oh, I heard this weeks ago, and I gave it to my guys 90 minutes ago. My other thing prefacing this was when I was like, oh, what are my favorite matches? And it's like, okay, well, how many of my favorite matches needed the storyline build up to get to why they're my favorites? So I had to wipe those out. So my criteria for this was if I'm just telling someone who has no clue about wrestling, just sit and watch this as a wrestling match to understand why I like it, zero storyline included. So my honorable mention is going to be Mankind versus The Undertaker from the King of the Ring, their Hell in a Cell match, because that just like, it's just a holy shit kind of match where you're just like, okay, I can see why you sit and watch this every week. And that didn't make my top 4, but that was my honorable mention, is just like this is going to draw someone in to enjoy this.
Did anybody else have honorable mentions? I did not. I just had my top 4.
My favorite match was with Melina and Alicia Fox.
Who? What's your favorite match?
My favorite match was with Melina and Alicia Fox.
Who?
So for you non-wrestling fans, in that clip, you can hear Stone Cold's parole officer saying, "Not again," into his earpiece as he clenches his fist looking at those women.
Woo! Wow.
For the record, and I understand that most in this group have that thing we call jobs right now, but the message was sent at 11:46 this morning, for the record. But
11:40, Jim, time, days.
Time is a construct.
Who even knows at this point? At this point, I think it's
even
Saturday.
on the air. We might not even be on the air. That's fair. All valid arguments here. But Matt, since you did raise your hand first and you gave your honorable mention, a great one at that, we will go to you for your. Now, do you want to start at 4 and work your way to 1, or do you want to start at 1 and work your way down? Did you put them in order?
I didn't necessarily put them in order, and actually, I'm kind of shame on Ryan and Mark for not having honorable mentions. I'm kind of upset at both of you.
I can come up with one if you like, Matt. I don't want to upset you.
No. Moments past.
It's too late.
Jackass.
Matt's upset.
Jim, you're back on my good graces for the Happy Gilmore quote.
I got you.
So I didn't necessarily put mine as a 1 through 4. I broke mine into 4 different categories. I did tag team wrestling, I did women's wrestling, I did men's wrestling, and then I did a new age progressive wrestling. And honestly, the new age progressive one is the one that I'm probably the most sour on, but it is one that I think would rope people in. So I will go with that one first.
Okay.
So for all intents and purposes, my number 4 match is going to be Will Ospreay versus Ricochet at New Japan's Best of Super Junior from 2016.
Okay. Anybody want to go next? Tim?
I thought are we not going to just give them all? Because I feel like Matt and I wrote ours very similar. Like, these are the matches you should watch.
Okay, we can. Yeah.
And like, it needs to be a complete package, just to really get the full idea of like sense. Match choices. If that's fine with everybody else.
Oh, absolutely fine. Matt, go ahead.
Okay, so that was my progressive wrestling match. My women's match, I chose Bayley versus Sasha at NXT Respect, the first ever Iron Woman match. I think if you're going to sit and watch women's wrestling, that's the match you kind of have to look at as kind of the gold standard, in my opinion. For the tag team match, I went with the Dudleys versus the Hardys versus Edge and Christian, their TLC match from SummerSlam 2000. I think that's kind of the launching off point. There's probably like better like straight tag team matches, but if I'm just hooking someone in with tag and like the wow factor, that's going to be my choice. And then it really took me a while to narrow down my just men's tag team match, because a lot of the matches that I really like, you need to watch the backstory. Like I really wanted to put Guerrero versus Angle on this one, and I didn't, and it pained me to not. I wanted to put HBK versus Flair on this. It just didn't make it the cut. So my men's wrestling match is going to be Steve Austin versus The Rock at WrestleMania X7. That I think is just kind of the peak of that feud. And you don't necessarily need to know a ton about Austin versus The Rock to appreciate that more.
Oh, Matt froze.
Sure, I think you need the storyline for that.
Right. I actually have a question for you, Matt.
Yes.
I love the list. Why go TLC 1 and not TLC 2?
Just because I think the wow factor from TLC 1, like the crowd reaction when you're watching that is a lot greater than TLC 2. Because by the time you get to TLC 2, like it's kind of ingrained in the audience. So you're not going to get the pops that you do. And any wrestling observer is going to react kind of how the crowd reacts, in my opinion.
Okay, that's fair.
Ryan, would you like to go next?
Yeah, I actually have a very similar list to Matthew. I will start, and again, no order at all. I will say, actually, yeah, I will say I have a bit of an order. I will go with Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat from WrestleMania 3. I would let them know that this is the standard wrestling match. This is what, you could expect from a one-on-one competition. It looks old, but it still stands up today with what like one-on-one men's competition could look like. For the women, I also chose NXT Respect. The Iron Woman match. I think there's so much, if you're not a fan, so much you can watch for. The time ticking down, keeping track of the pinfalls. It's just so different than a regular wrestling match that's not then a 60-minute Iron Man match. 30 minutes is easy to consume. And I think they both delivered home runs. So NXT Respect, Sasha versus Bayley was my women's choice. I had TLC 2 on my list from Mania, was it 17, I believe. So the Dudleys versus the Hardys versus Edge and Christian. And this is my train wreck. Wow, so much is going on. I can't believe what's happening. I could absolutely see an honorable mention like Hell in a Cell, that same sort of crash TV. Wow, I can't believe somebody put their body through that. The TLC incorporated the tag teams. There's 6 men. I think that's just a fantastic match. My final match, and again, if my main goal is to attract people that are not professional wrestling fans to become wrestling fans, I'm showing them the Boneyard match from WrestleMania 36. This is something like you've never seen before. Here is a 15-minute mini movie, soundtrack and all, pyrotechnics, up and down action. That is everything you could want in a pro wrestling match or a mini movie. So the Boneyard match rounds out my top 4 matches to show to a non-WWE fan, or a non-wrestling fan, I should say.
Tim, you want to go next?
Oh, yes, I do. So I kind of followed this kind of a blueprint going on here. But I actually have 4 original answers that haven't been said yet. My women's match, I think, is the best one-on-one women's match ever done in WWE. It is from WrestleMania 34. It is Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. Especially when it comes to Charlotte, I feel like there's not that many women on the WWE roster who can actually go toe to toe with Charlotte because Charlotte is just a physical presence.
Right.
She is super tall, very muscular, and Asuka, that story tells itself. And I feel like it's the reason why it's the only straight up singles match that I have on my list. I feel like with this, it can take the place of a really strong men's match. Because if you see one-on-one match, you've probably seen them all. My tag team match is from TakeOver Toronto. It's DIY versus the Revival, 2 out of 3 falls.
Okay.
It gives you the best of tag team wrestling from the 80s, the 90s, and today. It's like a great radio station. It gives you everything you need. And if somebody gets grabbed into this, they can go back and they can watch Brainbusters Demolition. They can watch Heart Foundation matches. They can watch the Rockers. And I think that Johnny Gargano by himself at that time is such a captivating character that people can grab a hold of him. The greatest idea ever in wrestling history is my number 3. And it's probably the best version of this. I'm going with the 2001 Royal Rumble match. The Royal Rumble is the most exciting match in wrestling history. It can get anyone into it. Anyone can get invested in a WrestleMania or in a Royal Rumble. And the 2001 Royal Rumble was so star-studded. Like, it has the most people in it that probably a non-wrestling fan would be able to look at and go, I know him, I know him, I know him. And this is Austin's last Royal Rumble win. And then, if you're talking about wrestling being a spectacle, if you're talking about wrestling being can be anything, I am going
King of the Road, King of the Road, King of the Road, King of the Road, King of the Road.
I am going Hornswoggle versus El Torito in WLC.
Fair.
It is such a great match. 3MB is bumping their faces off. The idea that they're doing an actual little person TLC match is fantastic. It gives you the full. I think those 4 matches can give you pure competition, spectacle, the special attraction, and what tag team wrestling can be.
I would have never seen WLC.
I have to give a huge tip of the cap for Tim on those last 2 because I didn't even think Royal Rumble and all of this. So, like, kudos in general just for that.
Yeah.
But the WLC just showing off like how unbelievable and good wrestling can be sometimes that we like overlook that, and we're just like, oh, we're getting these little people wrestling in a TLC match. But if like some random person just sat and watched that, they'd be like,
yo, this is awesome. What is this?
This is amazing.
Tim, what was your Rumble? Because I thought of Rumbles as well.
2001.
I took them off myself because I feel like the biggest part of the Rumbles are always the returns and the surprise entrances. And if you're not a fan, I feel like that would have been lost when I'm not a fan. So it was hard for me to include Rumbles in my. I was thinking Survivors, just tried to getting more people in my list, but the Rumbles were near the top, and that was the only thing that talked me out of putting a Rumble match on there.
So
was there something from that one that you would think would have like absolutely hooked me?
So it was the hardcore Royal Rumble. It's the Drew Carey Royal Rumble.
Okay.
It's Kane's Monster Push. The Rock is in it. Stone Cold is in it. The Big Show's in it. The Undertaker's in it. It's like
big players at that time.
Yes, like recognizable people to the outside world.
That's fair.
And just the idea of the countdown clock. People love counting down. Like they love the ball drop. They love all of it. They're gonna see Drew Carey get into this thing.
Is this the one Maven eliminated? Taker?
That's 2002.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But this is the hardcore the first hardcore Royal Rumble, where like Al Snow and Raven and everybody are bringing in like weapons. So it may set out like a poor expectation of like what they can be, but it does give the like anything can happen.
Sure.
That's fair.
Because they it breaks down and you get like the more traditional Royal Rumble feel, especially when you get to like the big grouping at the end with like The Rock and Stone Cold and The Undertaker and Kane and, you know, Billy Gunn.
The other thing with Rumbles that a casual observer won't catch on is, for the most part, like, wrestling fans kind of have an idea of who's going to win going into a Rumble. So
That's
anyone that has no clue what's going on at all isn't going to have any idea of who's going to come out on top. So it's going to make that an exciting finish, because if nothing else, the Royal Rumble always has at least like 3 or 4 false finishes towards the end to just kind of build up the anxiety.
Yeah.
Whereas wrestling fans are going to be like, okay, yeah, Ryback is not going to beat John Cena. Whereas someone who doesn't know who Ryback or John Cena is going to be like, what's going to happen?
And with the 2001 Rumble, so Kane draws a really early number and like goes through the gamut of people until The Rock shows up. So then any casual fan will be like, yo, The Rock, he's about to win this. Then the last like 6 numbers, you get Undertaker and Stone Cold. And
that's fair.
So people are going to be, oh, they're in this too. And by that time, The Rock and Kane are still in the match by the time Stone Cold and Undertaker come out.
Oh, it's heavy at the end.
It's really like looking at the list of people, like it's a big 4. Like it's literally Kane, The Rock, Undertaker, and Stone Cold. Like Big Show's in there at 23, but like 25 is The Undertaker, 26 is Scotty 2 Hotty.
Turn it up.
Billy Gunn is 28, Haku is 29, and Badman Rikishi is 30. But this is probably one of the more exciting Royal Rumbles.
Sure. All right. That is I love the list. I love the defense of it. Or not the defense, but like the reasoning behind it. Intern Mark, why don't we head to you? Paging intern Mark, wake up. Stop dreaming about Hodecker Cellar.
Can you hear me? My screen was frozen. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
He just froze again. There he is.
All right, I can hear you. Is everything? Is the caller there?
Yeah. Mark in Elizabethtown. What did you have for your 4 matches?
I had the Hodecker Celery. I had the Cornish Game Hen. And Succotash.
I'd mute you, but I'd be afraid we couldn't get you unmuted.
And that beat the guy that had turkey, right?
Yeah, the Cornish Game Hen beat turkey.
That's wild.
You know what? This actually is my last show. You guys can host from now on.
Poor Jim. All right, the 4 matches. This was really tough. Very tough. In no particular order, I went with, this is kind of hard to say, John Cena against RVD, not necessarily because I'm a Cena fan. And this was from the One Night Stand. when RVD beat Cena for the WWE title and the ECW title as well. Or I think RVD had the ECW title. But anyway, if you watch that match, that crowd, it was 100% pro RVD. So if you know nothing about professional wrestling and you're watching that, you know for sure who the fans are for. It was just an incredible match. One of my absolute favorites of all time. RVD and Cena from the one night stand. Let me see the other one. Oh, the going to WCW, Ric Flair against Terry Funk in the I Quit match from, I believe it was '89. That was actually televised on TBS's Clash of the Champions. That was quite a build to it, story with the story. But if you don't even know that, watching that match is one of the first times they used a table. Funk gave Flair a pile driver on the table. I think it was in that match, or maybe leading up to it. But you didn't often see tables get involved in professional wrestling. It was okay. Because I remember leading up to it, didn't Funk put a trash bag over Flair's head? I mean, all kinds of stuff that for '89 was not generally part of professional wrestling. But that I Quit match was great. So go back and watch that if you guys didn't see it. It was from New York. It was very, very good. I wanted to do a women's match. So the Bailey and Sasha, the Iron Woman match, I'd absolutely have to go with that. Another fantastic match. And I'm trying to remember what my fourth one was. Hang on, give me just a second. I wrote it down.
All right. Tim, what are we munching on there?
We got a last second arrival for some BK.
Oh, what do you got?
A plain double Whopper and fries.
I'm gonna eat, goddammit.
So just two Whopper patties.
Meat and cheese, baby.
Wow. Yeah, no, I gotta get at least some condiments up in that bitch.
I got some ketchup. I got ketchup.
All right. Well, that's okay. Intern Mark, you got your last one?
If I got the last one, Jim, you'll like this one. I went with Bret Hart against Steve Austin from WrestleMania 13, I believe it was.
Yeah, 13.
And that was also an I Quit match.
It was that match. Good.
And once again, if you're not a wrestling fan and you're listening to that crowd, you knew definitively who the fans were for. That was the fans completely turned on Bret Hart that night and cheered Austin. And it was just a great wrestling match, told a great story. Fantastic match. I'm sure everybody saw that one. That's a classic for sure.
Yeah, that is a good one as well. My four, I started with my only Bret Hart match of the list, and that's Bret and Owen from WrestleMania 12 or WrestleMania 10. I think, and because I think too, like I take into account that they would watch the the little build up video up to it, so you can get that it's brother versus brother, and just it's such a fantastic match, and little brother getting the win. My second one, I went with the Dudleys versus the Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian, but actually the match at WrestleMania 2000, which kind of was the precursor to the TLC matches, and it was just something that was just it was nuts. Like
triangle ladder match.
Yeah, the triangle ladder match. You had like the bump from like the 70-foot ladder from Jeff on the entrance ramp. At the end you saw him get flipped through the table end of ladder, I think, in the ring. Like it was just
the Matt bump.
Yeah,
when Matt explodes through that table in the middle of the ring. Holy shit.
Unreal. And I think WrestleMania 2000 was when we had the crazy cam. Which I remember just JR going full JR over to crazy cam. Which just added to like the spectacle of watching that match. And then I went with Taker and Shawn at 26. You know, you have like the story of these two older guys just, you know, streak versus career, and it you know, and I mean, it is an all-time classic. And the women's match I had on here was Sasha and Bailey, but the one from Brooklyn, like taking nothing away from the Iron Woman match, but man, when I think about those two, that's the first match that always comes to my mind. It was just so damn good. And then you had, of course, you know, at the end, the moment with the four horsewomen. So it shows, like, you know, the compassion and the whatever, you know, with through wrestling. So you know, that's why I had that one on there. Like the Brett and Owen match, it was like between that and Savage Steamboat, like at WrestleMania 3, because it's just, those are just like Matt classics. But of course, I got to go with my Bret Hart. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting topic, and in the future I will try to give you guys a little more lead.
At least 22 hours.
Jacket. Well, it was funny yesterday. I forget what we were having for dinner, but I heard my wife set a timer on our Amazon device for 22 minutes, and I giggled to myself. So I thought you guys would appreciate that. All right, we have two items in the news and rumors. With one that we've been kind of alluding to here for most of the night. Goldberg appeared on WWE's The Bump and declared that Reigns is, quote, next, as he has unfinished business with the tribal chief. Reigns took to Twitter and said he chooses who is next, and that is Kevin Owens at TLC. He says, quote, I never wait in line. I am the attraction, and I choose who's next, and that is Kevin Owens. Cousin Brian is heading out for the night. He said he has to switch Bam Bam's bodysuit to the dryer before he goes to bed. Thanks for playing along, Cousin Brian. Like, really, I mean, I should have kind of seen this coming because we did never get the WrestleMania match. But fucking God, why do we keep going back to Bill Goldberg? For fuck's sake. If this is the tribal chief just destroying Goldberg in 13 seconds, I can almost say this is okay. Otherwise, get that old bald fuck out of my ring.
So you want this match to go down. If it has to happen.
It has to happen.
Ding, ding, ding. Ooh, ah, bop, bop, bop. Punch over.
Done.
Or spear and over.
Get the fuck out, or you put him in that fucking chokehold he's been putting people in.
Ooh, okay.
And just pop his head off like a dandelion.
Right. It's the Battle of the Spears, Jim. The match is absolutely going to happen.
Of course it's going to. He's not going to be brought onto the bump for this match to not happen.
We think 2021 was going to start turning the corner, and then WWE's got to do this to us. Please don't.
Like, just somebody. I know somebody listens to it.
I'll beg.
Please don't.
This match happens at the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns isn't doing anything. There's no one in line as number one contender. Like, have this go over at the Royal Rumble. You may set Goldberg up for something after this. Like, something from this leads to Mania, maybe.
No,
not with Roman.
No.
Not with Roman, with Goldberg.
What? Why would anyone?
Because it's WrestleMania. Like, they're going to use people. Like, they're going to use people.
Let's use Dana Brooke.
And she will be on the card, but
better than Goldberg.
What will happen?
Roman and Goldberg will fight. Roman will win. It's not going to be a straight up squash. And Goldberg will be around for WrestleMania somehow.
Ew.
What will actually happen, because I would accept what Tim gave us. That's not what's going to happen. Roman Reigns will accept what award were they both going for again?
Return of the year?
Return of the year. Okay, so Roman wins Return of the Year. Goldberg confronts him. Roman says, if you want a shot at the title, hold it up, blah, blah, blah. Goldberg's going to win the Royal Rumble. and face Roman at WrestleMania in a spear fest. And the two of you, Jim and Ryan, will have had this coming.
I don't know why you have to be like this.
Why?
Because you said you were fine with Shane versus AJ Styles, and you will die on that cross.
What does it have to do with Goldberg?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Why burden us with that?
You get what WWE gives you, and you will love it.
I would rather see the ghost of Nick Bockwinkel come back, dead for 5 years. That's a callback right there to the pre-show, post-show. Make sure you check it out.
That was post the pre-show, post-show.
Oh, God damn it. I was sitting on that reference all fucking night for nothing.
Holy shit, he's been dead since 2015. Why did I not remember that?
Yeah, he's been dead for I told you 5 years. I wasn't lying about that.
Jesus.
Ah, trash.
Serve you all right.
At least the AJ and Shane match was a decent match.
No, I know we said
no, it wasn't. Don't even lie like that. Don't even
what
say
was
it was
bad
a
about
decent
it?
match.
Yeah, what was bad about it?
What was good about it?
You're making the
They're
argument.
saying decent, not good.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
decent.
Well,
We saw
Jim
jump across the ring.
So in
jumped
Jim's
off the ring
grading,
post in
Jim,
that
in
one.
your grading scale, what are you giving it?
I'd have to go back and watch it, Matt. We've been in 2020 for 100 years.
We will revisit this because when Jim gives that a letter grade,
I
then
smell
is
the next
no
watch
break it.
along that we can all sit down and do together.
Oh, I have COVID. I can't make it.
I do not want to watch that again. I said you rewatch it.
I know we
Don't
said
put
we
that
wouldn't
evil on me.
we wouldn't sound the sounder again, but Matt screamed Shane McMahon.
No, he didn't.
I just wanna
No.
point that out there.
No.
He
I didn't
did.
say his full name.
I feel like you were very angry and you said Shane McMahon. I'm just saying we don't have to.
You're
Jim
that's
is
what
the
you said in
host.
yourself.
He is
because
the
I
host,
said just
please.
the first name.
I'm not saying we need to hear
Please, sir, please have mercy.
I'll take mercy, but Matt, if you give me an attitude like blaming Goldberg winning the Universal title on me
It
again,
will serve you right.
you know, God damn it. God damn it. This is on Matt. Play.
The best in the world.
Jim, if this plays the full way through, Clemson's going to beat Notre Dame in 2 weeks.
You know this clip has nothing to do with that James Gim.
You don't know that.
I can't
You
even speak.
Don't know that.
We got the gist of it.
You're a
Intern
coward.
Mark,
A goddamn coward.
Any thoughts? I can. 2020 has given me enough shit, Ryan. I don't need to.
I will let you have that. That's fine.
Intern Mark,
Tim, you're safe. You're safe, Tim.
Any thoughts on? We need like a sign like Tim
Safe.
clear. Intern Mark, any thoughts on Oldberg returning?
Oldberg. No, I really don't need to see him in a ring wrestling again. I really don't. If they would have bring him back and have Reigns beat him, I'm okay with that. But if he comes in and takes the title off Reigns, I give up. I really do. It's just unnecessary. I don't need to see it. It'll do absolutely nothing. But if they want to bring him in, have Reigns beat him, okay, because the match is going to happen.
Ryan, this is why I lump you
I'll
and
accept it.
Jim on all the Goldberg you get what you deserve bullshit because you gave me this for Christmas 2 years ago. This is the Bill Goldberg doing the Roman Reigns impression. That's why.
You're welcome.
And
I also want it to be known that it is proudly displayed on the top of that shelf.
I have nowhere else to put this. I'm not gonna throw it away.
That's fair. I appreciate that.
It's a gift.
I'm sure I spent a good $4 at the Ollie's on that.
Or Five Below, one of the two.
No, it was at the old effort at Kmart before it shut down.
You know what? That might have been one I bought from Larry Peace for like $37. Who knows?
Well, then I'm throwing it in the trash.
Go on,
If that's the case.
All right, y'all gonna keep calling Goldberg Oldberg, and then y'all gonna find out that he's only 5 years older than R-Truth.
Thanks, Connie.
Her.
I mean, I don't think anyone's ever argued that R-Truth is young.
He's old as shit.
And you know what? If Goldberg wants to come back and get involved with the 24/7 title,
yes,
I will not call him.
Yes, all for it.
He is more than
sort of streak
every day.
R-Truth is in the best movie that features a wrestler of all time. So
if
that's all.
Goldberg wants to come back and spear the gobbledygooker and win the 24/7 title, fine, awesome, I love it.
He can beat every ninja if he wants to. I'd be fine with that.
Even the 8 foot
That's
tall.
racist.
Now the Gooker still has the title, doesn't he?
No, R-Truth has the
R-Truth
title.
has it for in his 49th reign or something, I believe.
Okay.
I've certainly lost count. But you know,
will you give Goldberg some slack if he just ferments his goatee? Will that make it better for you?
No, that'll make it worse.
Okay, sorry.
100% worse.
I didn't know you were so anti-hair dye.
Yeah, you don't put hair paint in. Listen, any podcaster with a microphone with a wire just dangling loose can just put hair dye in all they want. That's below Bill Goldberg.
the asshole can get behind the seat of a Chrysler, God knows what the fuck that car was, and drive to a pizza place in central Pennsylvania and claim it's the best pizza in the world.
Any dick can order a full pizza and just say that pepperoni is the best pizza topping and they need nothing else. Then that's well within their rights.
Why are y'all coming at me for? I have hair dye. Pepperoni is the best slice. There's a such thing as effing plain s'more. I'll kiss my ass. Each and every one. What other news is there?
Any asshole can staple gun a foam kids toy belt up on his wall and call himself a fucking winner. But hair dye is where I draw the line. If Goldberg wins the WWE Universal Championship, I will stop watching WWE for a week. Then we go to our final news item. Triple H was asked about
Jim, you should do that. You should put I want to hear a month, and let's do it today.
A month?
If Goldberg wins for you don't watch WWE for a month. You will miss a pay-per-view. How much do you trust the WWE? We'll cover you. We will absolutely be able to talk about everything.
If Goldberg,
1 month.
if Goldberg wins the Universal title, I will not watch WWE Pro. Can I watch NXT at least?
Yes.
No.
No, not even NXT.
No. You get AEW and Impact.
He can watch NXT, Impact, and AEW. I'll give him
Ring
NXT.
of Honor is still putting out shows.
Yeah.
What about NWA?
So I just can't watch Raw or SmackDown or the WWE
You
pay-per-view.
can only watch matches that are refereed by Larry keeping the peace.
Or Drake Wirtz.
If Bill Goldberg beats Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship,
mark it down,
in 2021, I will not watch WWE for a month.
Love it. Because I won't either.
For a month.
Hold
And
on.
that would be like, if it happens in April, then that's 30 days. If it happens in a month with 31, I'll go
fair.
31.
Say that one more time.
If Bill Goldberg beats Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship in 2021, I will not watch WWE for a month.
All right, I just put him on full screen. He
Fine.
said that. We can clip it.
Flip
and
it. Hold me
ship
to it. Hold me to it.
I will.
I absolutely, because that will piss me off enough to actually get.
Now I'm pissed off.
All right, Lindsey Graham, we're going to use your words against you. Because when this does happen,
Oh, that pisses me off. That pisses me right off.
You know how much? You know what percent chance? I'm even gonna go one bigger. You know what
Oh, there we
percent?
go.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
no.
Tim!
Time out.
I don't
time
even
out.
know.
Tim, put him on the full screen again.
Hold on. I got it.
Oh, this is unreal.
You know when you're ready for this.
All right, here you go.
You know what percent chance this has of happening?
Oh, Jim.
0.0.
0% chance. It ain't happening. Yeah. Yeah, I went that far.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
What size shoe do you wear?
13 extra wide.
Does your mouth open that wide?
It probably does, but I mean, let's be honest. Big Jim ain't that flexible right now.
All right, how you feel about toes?
Toes is gross, man. They are nasty. Feet are disgusting. Feet are fucking disgusting. All right, the final news item. Triple H was asked about The Undertaker's future.
Don't do it, Tim. Don't do it.
Wait, you don't put your fucking feet up on that camera.
Oh my!
Don't do it. Wait, are you telling me you're a fat man that can put your foot in your mouth?
No, I was just gonna put my foot up in the camera view.
Oh,
Didn't need to see
that ain't gonna. I just don't get feet.
I got nice feet.
You're nice feet, bad feet. It don't matter. They're fucking feet. They're gross. Feet are gross.
Gross.
Triple H asked about The Undertaker's future during NXT TakeOver War Games post-show media conference. He confirmed that he's working towards becoming a coach for the WWE Performance Center next year. He said, I can tell you this, anytime Taker's involved here, anytime he has walked through these doors, everybody that's here is better for it. He added, he's looking now, I believe, to move to the next phase of his life. We've talked a lot about it. It involves being here. It involves the future. It involves getting more into that. I would like to believe he has earned the taking a breath off of his retirement for a moment, but we actually just touched base in the last couple of days. And that is something coming out of the holidays we will certainly be talking about in 2021, which is just one more reason to be excited about next year with everything else that is happening. I think him involved, I can't stress enough how impactful that would be for everybody. The current list of coaches at the Performance Center: Matt Bloom, Shawn Michaels, Johnny Moss, Norman Smiley, Robbie Brookside, Sarah Amato, Terry Taylor, and Scott Garland. So that is pretty exciting news. Devin has to head out as well. Devin, thanks for joining in tonight, buddy. Take care. We'll talk to you next week. Man, I would absolutely, love for that to happen, for the Undertaker to be involved in the Performance Center and coaching. I mean, you have a guy that obviously has a ton of knowledge in this industry and in the WWE. So it could absolutely be better for everybody. Anybody thoughts on this one?
I could see Taker doing a lot for things like character development. I don't think anybody ever looks at The Undertaker and thinks, wow, he was a great technician and can really bestow a ton of knowledge to a younger group of wrestling holes and the such. But for what he was, I think he was a great wrestler, a great entertainer, and will do a great job teaching a young generation of superstars.
Indeed.
If you get signed to a contract and your two immediate trainers are Triple H and The Undertaker, I think you're in very good hands.
Yeah, you could do a lot worse. You could do a lot worse.
I'm just curious as to what schooling Undertaker has to go through to become a coach, because Triple H is saying he's on the next step to be a coach. So what kind of process is that? I just figured he'd walk in and be like,
No, they
I need a job.
They sent him to the CZW dojo, and then they have him run the ropes a couple times. They'll sweep out the ring during one CZW, one of their really hardcore matches, and then he should be good.
Oh,
DJ Hyde knows what he's doing.
I would assume that it's whenever he goes, "Hey, Paul, I want a job." I would assume that's what the step would be.
Michelle wants another ring.
Anybody else? Anybody got any other thoughts or comments on the show tonight? All right, then let's close this thing up. Tim, we'll start with you. Got anything to plug?
Oh, yes, I do. Not the Tool Man across all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, if you care. Twitch.tv/Not the Tool Man, because I just keep doing that. To answer everybody's question, no, I am not featured on a future episode of Last Man Standing with Tim Allen. That is my dad. But we also don't talk about him because he's canceled. Final Wrestling Place. Wherever you get podcasts, you can get ours. SoundCloud.com/Final Wrestling Place. It is the season finale of the wedding season. Marcus and I are doing a live watch along of the blackest wrestling show ever, WWE SmackDown, with the episode of the marriage of Teddy Long and Crystal Marshall. It's going to be amazing. And then to give you guys an idea or two, we are also leading into a 2-part year in review ender. Best and worst year ever. We are crowning the future Mr. or Mrs. Good Place, Bad Place 2020. It's going to be great. At Final Place Pod on Twitter can get you anywhere you need to be.
Ryan, how about you?
Oh, see ya.
Matt, how about you?
You can catch me on Twitter. It's at 3CT, the letter A, Philly, as in Philadelphia, the number 8, so 3CT affiliate. Sixers start in like a week, so you probably won't want to follow me then. And I do want to put Tim on the hot seat right now because we have asked this question to everyone else on 3 Count Thursday. But Tim, what is your favorite movie featuring a wrestler?
Oh, that is a very excellent question. My favorite movie featuring a wrestler. I'm going to go. Wasn't Hulk Hogan in a Three Ninjas?
He was.
So until further notice, it's Three Ninjas Strike Back. Or Three Ninjas Kick Back. I think that's what it's called. Three Ninjas 2 with the canceled one.
Insert Mark, got anything?
I do have something real quick. This past Tuesday, about 8:22 p.m., I had a life-changing moment. I picked up a peppermint milkshake from the chicken fillet. So if you guys like milkshakes and you have a chicken fillet close by, 'tis the season for peppermint milkshakes. Do yourself a favor. Go track one down. It's the Lord's Milkshake. It changed my life. In those few minutes that I consumed that shake, all was right in the world.
That is one of the, if not the best. Yes, Tim.
I would be remiss if I did not mention Pro Wrestling Empire. Latest episode out now on YouTube. It is episode number 7. It is the first episode since the crowning of the new PWE World Champion. We get our number 1 contender crowned on this very episode. So look for Pro Wrestling Empire Battleground on YouTube.
All right, and then you can follow me at Big Jim Sports. Wear your fucking mask. States are starting to do the shutdown things, and if you're an anti-masker and live my lifer and but my freedoms guy, chances are you might be part of the reason for that. And you can at me if you like to get angry about it, but wear your goddamn mask. We all want to get through this. But follow the show at 3 Count Thursday, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Go to 3countthursday.com. Subscribe to our show on all podcast platforms. Make sure you follow along with our home network at NGSC Sports at ngscsports.com. And until next week, stay safe, stay smart, and go for the pin. Recount Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?